All right, Emily, I'm an aspiring LinkedIn influencer, as my parents think I do for a living.
That's more advanced than what my mom thinks I do for a living.
Finfluencer is a kind of a cool term. Like, do you play with sharks as part of that?
I just like LinkedIn influencer. Like, it doesn't need to be LinkedIn influencer. So it's just one, it's a portmanteau. And I've been meaning to make hats and I just never have. So there's that.
I want to get smarter on the network effects at play here. And I've seen your posts about having a flywheel. So maybe for the benefit of listeners, you could explain what even having a flywheel on LinkedIn is and some of the steps to try to get there.
People spend a lot of time posting on LinkedIn, but then they stop. Usually companies have a bunch of disparate things or a handful of disparate things happening on LinkedIn. You have the aspiring LinkedIn influencer, in your case, that's hard to say, or whoever it is. Maybe you have an executive trying to post and become an influencer. Maybe you're doing a bunch of sponsored posts with existing influencers. Maybe you're also running LinkedIn ads with a whole separate agency. And then maybe you have like a company account that is also posting random stuff. Occasionally someone goes in and comments on these things, but not with any regularity. And so you need to put all this together. Instead of having it be piecemeal or random acts of marketing, you need to put it together into like flywheel. And so there's actually a pretty like logical flow you can follow here to make everything better on LinkedIn. So the idea is that an individual, be it an executive at your company or be it sponsored post, kind of depends there who you have within your company, what following they have already. If you want to make someone sort of a LinkedIn influencer, they already are. Or like if you're going to do sponsored buys, you can do these in conjunction. I'm spending too long on this thing though. Individual posts on LinkedIn, not your company. Individual posts do a lot better than company posts, unless you're some outlier with some crazy company following. Then you should boost those posts as a thought leader ad. Thought leader ads on LinkedIn are like the most slept on LinkedIn ad type. You go into LinkedIn ads, you ask the person that posted via LinkedIn, you send a request that's like, hey, can I use this as a thought leader ad? And what a thought leader ad is, it's basically the person's post boosted or the person's post promoted to more people, the actual post. And so a company can put money behind a sponsored LinkedIn post, behind an executive's LinkedIn post. They can put money behind it. And it looks mostly like an organic post. There's a small little indicator. And this way you're boosting the post significantly to drum up more engagement. And then as you post, when you originally post boosted, make sure the person that posted and the person people they mentioned in the post are then commenting back to boost engagement. So you're doing all of this to drive engagement. And then even if you get this thought leader ad part right, which is just putting like $100 behind things can make it go so much further, then they stop there. And that's not where you should stop either. You then need to look at who's engaging with your LinkedIn posts and use that as a signal. This doesn't mean follow up with every single person with a spammy, like, do you want a demo? It doesn't mean following up with everyone with a connection request necessarily. It means pulling that information from LinkedIn, matching it up with the accounts that you're targeting, and then figuring out the appropriate follow-up campaign. Maybe it's just, they engage with your thing, so they're probably more likely to want to go to an executive dinner that you're planning that they're going to attend. Or they've commented on 5 of your posts and a connection request makes sense. So figure out what makes sense for the follow-up. And now this then continues. Now you have more people that you're connected to. In theory, depending on the LinkedIn algorithm, they'll see more of your posts. You'll get more engagement in general, and you'll be able to turn this into something actually like known, quantifiable ROI. So that's the idea of the LinkedIn flywheel. Don't do all of these things individually. Do these things together. So combine your organic posting, sponsored posting, executive thought leadership, paid LinkedIn commenting, and signal-based campaigns together into this flywheel.
CJ, is this enough to make you a finfluencer?
I think I'm there. I think I've seen the light. To tie it back to what we started the pod with, I've observed 2 things about LinkedIn. One, that companies are incredibly cringe, especially B2B software companies. There's nothing less sexy than an enterprise B2B sales MarTech tool trying to be cool on LinkedIn. And the second thing is, it just feels like we're all I learned a new term, where all this RAM is going down. People are just throwing stuff out into the ether. But it's so much RAM. I mean, I don't even know. It's but like it doesn't tie back to anything. It's just out there.
Yeah. And then people aren't doing the follow-up, and then they're like, I keep posting, it's not working. And I'm like, well, maybe post a little bit less and comment a little bit more. I mean, Kyle always talks about this. Post a little less, comment a little bit more, comment before you post, comment after, comment on other people's things, and get this system really going.
Who should do this at the company? So I found I was kind of playing this role at OpenView for a while, but I feel like there's a lot of hesitation with companies to have it be from someone that's not a founder.
I like memes, but I don't make many of them. But I've made one, which is a picture of a horse and a man dragging that horse to water. And it talks about how, I relate it to LinkedIn. We could pull that up or something, or share it after. But basically, it's like you can lead a founder to the LinkedIn swamp and try to make them right. But if they really don't want to do it, they're not going to be good at it, because it's not just, you can write all the posts you want for them, but they really need to be the ones that go in there and comment. It's hard to really comment as someone else. And you can tell, especially if it's someone at like the founder level that has distinct thoughts, like you kind of know. So they need to be willing to do it, willing to engage with it. It's also like people might need to log into your LinkedIn account as you, or they either need to post it. And so in either case, the person needs to be comfortable with this whole thing. And so I think it's great for it to be a founder because they're committed to the company for a longer time than, say, maybe an average employee. But it only makes sense if they can really talk about the topic. And so if they're truly not a subject matter expert, or you truly cannot lead that horse to water and make them drink, it can be fine if it's someone else in the company. So if you're targeting marketers, it could be your marketing leader. If you're targeting finance, it could be your finance leader, which might be a little harder. CJ's got a run on the LinkedIn finfluencer market. I don't think there's that many finance leaders that want to be that. But yeah, I really just think it highly depends on who has the appetite for it and who has the appetite for it and the availability for it. And I think, I used to feel the same way. Like, what if the employee leaves the company and then what? And they built up this whole thing. And now you've given them this huge platform and they've built it up. And it's like, well, employees build up lots of skills when they work at your company, in theory. Like, they get better at marketing, or they get better at forecasting, and those skills go with them too. And you train them up on it. So it's kind of the same thing. Like, they're building a skill, they're building their marketable skill set, and one of those things might be a LinkedIn following. In that case, though, when you are using an employee, I do think, or an executive, I do think it's helpful to have two people trying to build things up. So you do kind of have that backup plan.
One thing I've been noticing on LinkedIn is they keep asking me to pay to boost my own post, which I've never seen before. And it almost feels like they're holding me hostage. Like, if you don't pay to boost this, we're not going to show it to anyone. When I looked to set up my first CRM at Growth Unhinged, I knew I wanted something that was actually AI first. The world has evolved. Most CRMs are still stuck in the 90s. I found Lightfield, the CRM that remembers everything and does the work for you. It joins all my sales calls, reads my emails, and has the full context on every account. At this point, Lightfield knows my deals better than I do. I haven't had to set up a single CRM dashboard. Instead, I simply ask Lightfield questions like, which deals in my pipeline are most likely to close, or who do I need to follow up with today? It even automatically prepares me for meetings with a personalized daily briefing, and setup was quick and surprisingly painless. Lightfield is my sales coach, RevOps analyst, therapist, EA, all in one. See Lightfield for yourself with a 14-day free trial. Connecting data from your inbox takes just 5 minutes, and you can migrate in under an hour. Go to lightfield.app, that's LIGHTFIELD.app, and use code MOSTLYGROWTH to get 3 months free.